Well, we are nearing to the end of the 2021, and our hearts are filled with joy and excitement with the arrival of Christmas. When that long-awaited days arrive, we prepare Christmas dinner with family, friends, exchanging gifts, and we are happy to know that we will meet a relative who may not have seen them for a long time. But at the same time, we have high expectations for what will happen in 2022 with the pandemic, with the mutation of the virus, the country's economy, and the political situation. We have more questions than answers in how we will face the new year. But we are no different from the Jewish people in today's gospel. People have high expectations in John's presence, and in turn they have doubts if he is the Messiah. But with the doubt they have does not leave aside the joy that they feel in their heart as they thought that they could be in front of Christ. Faced with that joy and expectation in preparing for the arrival of the true Messiah, a question comes to their heart. Then, what should we do? Answer that they do not seem to understand from the John's mouth. And we behave in the similar way that today's peoples, in today's gospel, we ask questions, and many times we don't understand the answers. The evangelist wants to teach us that many times to get the right answer to our concern, we need a little humility. Share the extra tunic that you have, give food to the hungry, and act ethically in our life. But even so, we do not find adequate answer to our concerns. Unlike the Jewish people, we continue asking questions. What should we do? What should we do to avoid more death of our children in schools at the hands of people who irresponsible have firearms and weapons, and owners who do not keep them away from young people? What should we do to avoid more death from the coronavirus pandemic when people do not want to be vaccinated, including people who don't know and don't believe in vaccines? What should we do to stop the proliferation of our guns in our city here in Lynchburg and to stop the continuous shooting every night? What should we do so that people return to the church and find a spiritual home for love where they can find mercy and brotherhood are a common place, and especially for the young people where for them the church don't make sense anymore? What we must do to build a society where justice reigns and the political leadership more committed to the people and less interested in their personal affairs and for their own benefit. It is difficult to find answers, although this question and many others that you might have in your own heart. But we got a lot of the reason to joy, to be happy, like St. Paul said in the second letter, because God is among us. He gave us his mother, and we must not let sadness, doubt, anguish take over us. Our Lord gave us his mother, Mary of the Guadalupe. Our Lady of Guadalupe has the symbol of the love and mercy that God has for us. And we find in her the pure example of humility that a person could have. And when the Lady of Guadalupe joined her people, represented in San Juan Diego, by asking him to build a temple for her in the hill of the Tepeyac. But the question is, what about this one? Diego had also asked her, what should I do? Well, it was in this way that by obeying his mother, he carried the message of salvation to the whole humanity. It is that in Maria of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe, represented in the church, we find that Christ, who is to come in each one of our hearts. It is in his gospel that we find the message of salvation and the longing to await for his second coming. This should fill us with a great joy because it frees us from sins, sadness, and the emptiness of our heart, but it makes us happy, and our life is reborn every time we have one encounter with him. The Messiah who is to come is in this church that Juan Diego helped to build with his message, but with our continuous and daily effort and dedication, we also help to build and support it every day in our life. In it, we must be the messengers of mercy, peace, and humility, and that, like John the Baptist, he did not allow himself to be confused. He humbled himself, understanding that salvation is in the one who comes, and he is being only a flame, that he feared that pride could extinguish it. Our Lord Jesus will come at the end of the time, but with joy and expectation, let us be prepared for his arrival. But while that happens, let us walk with great joy to meet him. He is present here in the Eucharist.